Hello, everyone. Again, happy Wednesday, and great to be with you. And for this, I really enjoy doing these multiple videos per week, just around trying to wrap all the teachings into one video. These teachings have come through. I don't know if some of you who around the Diamond Heart Project, if you're new to Diamond Heart Project, or if you're investigating it or thinking about being a part of it, there's the book of information that is going to come through over the past year and a half around the information that wanted to be part of the Diamond Heart Project. And the foundation is 3 pillars around each week. We have an activity, a teaching, and a practice to implement into our lives to see what helps resonate, become more connected to self, really helping you find yourself, the authentic one that is you, and going through a life transformational process. Either way, it's nice to break it down into multiple videos so people can have more awareness around the information really coming through. And so each week, most people design these kind of programs what they call the drip content, where it's just week 3 is always week 3, week 4 is always week 4. And that's not how I've been guided to offer this program. And so some of the content that might come through in week 10 is the next program we'll get in week 11, or maybe the some content that maybe they get in week 9 based on the group, where the group is in their own evolution and where the people, what they need to hear, what's happening in the cosmos. There's so many factors intuitively that come with that process of what information is kind of directly being called to offer the group. It's never a choice. Life is a choice, but it's not a logical choice of I'm going to offer this week. It's guided, this is the information to offer. And so, when that information came through around how to really offer the program from an intuitive centered space, it would make sense. You're offering a intuitive based program to teach how to connect deeper to your wisdom. So shouldn't that be offered in the most authentic way, giving from a space of intuitively authentic information that wants to come through? So this is the information that wants to come through for this week, and maybe for another group it would be different. So the point is that these are not pre-recorded videos. They're recorded maybe the day of dropping them with you or the day before, but they're not copy and pasted from 6 months ago or from 12 months ago. They are recorded specifically for the group we're dealing with at this moment, at this time, on May 27th, 2026. And so that really feels special to me. That really feels unique. And as I work with coaches and support systems on how to make this more mass marketed on social media, those kind of things, it's very unique to have a kind of program that does this. And so again, this was not my demise or my planning logically. This is what I was guided to offer. And so it just comes back to the principle of we have this connection within ourselves that provides all the information and guidance and teachings and clarity of how we navigate our life and how we show up and how we be of service, and with the directions and the understanding and the clarity and the types. All of it is actually coming through us. We don't have to figure anything out. You just have to show up and give your gift into the world. And so I feel so blessed to be able to offer this from that centered space with you. So the information that wanted to be offered to you this week, besides the human technology information we just posted with you, had to do with embracing polarity, through neutrality. And as you remember, in the beginning of our session with the Diamond Heart Project, the beginning of this 16-week transformation experience together, we talked about staying in neutrality, staying neutral with everything, with how you view yourself, how you view life, how you have your thoughts, what happens in your practice, staying neutral. And so I believe some of you kind of had one eyebrow up, kind of like The Rock, one eyebrow up around what's neutrality, right? What is that? And hopefully over the past 11 weeks, you've had your practices that have helped you come more into the center of neutrality. And what we mean by that is we have these big swings, right? Everything in life is this pendulum, right? That's always swinging back and forth. And our society drives that space of duality. It drives that space of polarity. right? Like blue or red, what do you believe in? Like this religion, that religion, like what do you believe in? Like realizing that there's actually no division. Like the only division is between, are you a earthly being, or are you a Mars being, or are you from, another planet, another part of the cosmos, are you from another galaxy? Like that's like the separation. Like, and still there is like a sharing of DNA there. So like really isn't you are different. Like when you drive from California to Nevada, do you drive like through a line? No. The cactus or the bush looks exactly the same side on that side of California that it looks on this side of Nevada. Like there's an imaginary line that you drive through. Yeah, they put up a post sometimes you have to drive through, and there's security that's usually never there 9% of the time with a sign on the door that says keep driving. Like, but there really is nothing you ever drive over, right? Unless you want to fly from like California to Hawaii, you have to go over the ocean. But the point is that you're still with beings that are all from the earth, right? You're in a plane from the earth. Like there's no separation, but you're told that there's a separation. Like there's this polarity of things. And so we sometimes swing on that swing of polarity all the time. And at the same time, like it also benefits us to our evolution when you can observe it, not so much be on the swing, but observe the swing, right? Like if you are somebody who really, really like wants to just live a life of like joy and happiness, which is this side of the pendulum swing, then you have to also give yourself permission to go to the depth of sadness and the opposite of joy. Like joy is an amazing thing, but so is sadness. And if you honestly give yourself permission to feel the depth of sadness, you'll give yourself permission to feel the depth of joy. Because why? That pendulum swings both ways. It doesn't swing halfway and back. It has to go all the way. There's momentum, right? So we can get momentum going in the process. Similar to like our Kundalini practice today. Like we did exercises, or we did postures where we would do one thing to imbalance one side of our body, holding onto our foot with our breath of fire, like, right? And then we sat back down to allow that pendulum to come back to balance. The thing is, everything operates from a place of homeostasis. That's where it's most powerful, that space of balance. Guru Singh, one of my teachers, like for Kundalini, who I've been involved with since I began investigating yoga, teaching yoga, going to school for yoga. I don't know if some of you know, but I was invited to join the Loyola University program for yoga, which is something they were doing on the side as a college credit program, and I was invited by 2 professors to come be part of it. It was a really beautiful experience to be kind of this experimental class. It was the 3rd class that they ever tried, because it was a Jesuit school, and they're teaching yoga, right? They're really pushing the envelope. And Guru Singh was a teacher that came in to teach Kundalini during our semester of our yoga certification. And we had a very incredible connection when he came to class. So I've been following him ever since. And I always said after I did my master training with Kambo, I wanted to start venturing into Kundalini, and that was 6-8 years ago. And so all of a sudden, the moment I graduated the Combo Master Program or completed it, like I got an email from Guru Singh. It's like, here's my new program for Kundalini. He never knew about me stating that, but the cosmos did, right? So there's all these moments. Like I could talk for days on these moments of what you might call synchronicities or connections around, like, Guru Singh and I had shared 2 sentences in our whole existence of connecting as far as one-on-one, right? But that connection of like I said, I get a direct message from him, an email from his group inviting me to his next Kundalini offering, which happened to be the week after I got done with Kambo, and no one except my partner at the time knew that I was really interested in doing Kundalini after I completed my master program with Kambo. So that type of synchronicity. So if you didn't believe in something, those kind of experiences cause you to believe. Like, so that's why I'm so dedicated to this work, because like these continuous, numerous levels of synchronicities or connections or alignments have happened where it really allows you to come into that space of full trust. And that space of full trust is that place of neutrality. Like, as you've all heard me say, like, my favorite response to everything is interesting. Let's see what comes from this. No matter if it's a joyous, incredible moment or a really challenging moment, like, interesting. Let's see what comes from this, because there's always some understanding or teachings or offering that the universe or cosmos or spirit or source or God is trying to offer you in the moment. It's always happening for you, never to you, never against you. And like as I mentioned, the teacher guru saying, you come back to that, he always said, like, the middle path. And he talks about, like, how the middle path can somewhat be boring. I'm not saying it is. He says it is, right? Because the middle path is being in that space of centeredness, never having any really highs, never having any lows, and just being able to witness and observe life. And but even though that might be some way he references, he says many more things about it. But the power of it is the place of equanimity, that place of potency, like that place of connection, that place of feeling fulfilled, like filled up, like with your own confidence, with your understanding, like standing in your power, like feeling beyond empowered in any moment or conversation or experience, or you just sitting on your chair looking out the window, like feeling that sense of all, that space of equanimity, of balance, of neutrality, of being able to see things clearer than you've ever seen before. That's a space of neutrality. So that's why it's talked about since the beginning of our program together, around just being able to view from a place of neutrality. And so that's how we embrace the polarity. And when you find yourself on the swing of polarity, ride it. But recognize you're on a swing of polarity. Enjoy the ride. But don't get distracted or try to pick a side to anything. You're not red, you're not blue, you're not north, you're not south, you're not east, you're not west. Like, there's no needing to limit yourself to one perceived limitation or one point of focus. Able to experience all of life from a place of neutrality, equanimity. Love y'all. Blessings.